to the computer. Reproducing the godly. Reproducing the dagre. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How about you?
Good, man. Fucking busy.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah.
With what?
Um, Two main things right now are starting my little business
Uh-huh.
and tons of stock stuff. Besides that, all the normal stuff, family and music and chess and shit like that,
Nice. Didn't Magnus get his butt kicked? Or was that a while ago? I feel like I saw some video of some like youngster who
Yeah, there's a couple of young guys who have wrecked some people in some speed chess. That's for sure.
it's mostly just in speed chess.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a couple of them. There's a couple of up and comers that can give anybody a run for their money.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've been crushing on chess lately too. I took a few master scalps recently, and it
Oh
was
wow.
couple
That's
of natural
awesome, man.
masters. Oh yeah, it was with a couple of them. It was a just complete crush. It was just amazing.
Whoa.
Yeah, yeah, for real. It
Wow,
was
what'd you do differently? What'd you try differently?
um really not much. I think a lot of um because it's all speed chess, so it's really about time management.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's really about time management.
What clock you playing at?
3 minutes. Three
Okay.
minutes usually. Although my 1 minute rating is like monstrous. Like I'm right around 2300. Um,
Wow.
1 minute and the 3 minute is around. I flirt with 2100. Sometimes a little over, sometimes
Damn.
low. But like
That's amazing.
my speed, I rarely run across people in 1 minute where I don't feel like I have a good chance. You know what I mean? I
Uh-huh.
feel like I'm getting steamrolled every once in a while I will, and it's an
Uh-huh.
amazing experience.
Hmm.
Um but yeah, I don't be that was cool. And yeah, lots of stock stuff and making content for my website and business and stuff like that. I just talked to a woman who lives in Colombia, and she had been helping our friend Casey with her online business.
Uh-huh.
She's known as like a digital assistant where she does
Okay.
all sorts of like she does all of the advertising stuff for social media and manages all that stuff, which is crap I don't want to do, nor do I know how to do it anyway.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But I also don't want to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so she's been working with the case for like 4 years, so that she comes mega highly recommended. And so I talked with her today for the first time on the phone,
Hmm.
and I definitely want to go forward with
With her.
yeah, with having her do work her magic, you
So
know.
she's like a good hired gun that could
Yeah,
propel your stuff out to many more people than
yeah,
otherwise.
doing all the advertising and stuff like that, and managing social media, and when people like comment on stuff, then she'll like respond like as
Mhm.
part of like the business kind of thing,
Mhm.
so yeah, it's like all the stuff I don't really want to do but is essentially necessary for
Okay.
an online business,
Hmm.
because I'm mostly online. I mostly meet with people virtually, and now
Uh-huh.
I'm really interested in the creating like online courses.
Hmm.
As I did that, I realized I really like doing that a lot. I like content creation. I like doing this, like what we're doing right now. Like
Hmm.
doing this is fun for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Get to a point where I'm just a content creator, and then I've got other people that are posting it or editing it and managing advertising and stuff. Oh my god, awesome! Yeah, I'll pay them whatever. You're right. If
Yeah, yeah.
we're making money, fine. Then great. It's fucking worth it to me.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's good to know. Because
Yeah.
That's an important thing to partner up with, or something
Exactly,
I
especially if
know
you don't want
nothing
to do
about.
it,
Yeah.
which I don't. So
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't either.
yeah.
So she's been working with Casey for like 4 years, you said?
Yeah. Casey started an online coaching business for parents,
Uh-huh.
specifically parents with autism who have or on the autism spectrum with a diagnosis called PDA, which is kind of like a it's like resistant to correction or feedback. So like if
Hmm.
you tell them not to do something, they're gonna like get really upset and do it even more kind of
Huh.
situation.
Hmm.
And yeah, her business got mega successful. So I'm essentially just copying. I'm just going to copy what she did.
Yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, and it's like I'm gonna keep putting work into that. That'll probably be my guess is probably more slow over time, and in the meantime, trying to like make actual money through the stock market stuff.
Mhm.
I just it's interesting. It's like at this point, I mostly just follow the moves of the community that I'm in. Like there's
Like Jackie Latitz.
yeah, and all because there's a bunch of other like people who are professional traders. That's how they make their money. It's all
Mhm.
those people in that community.
Uh-huh.
And a few of them actually lately have had some amazing plays. So outside of just Jackie, there's other people on there that I really, really trust.
Huh.
And they show all their charts and they host meetings, and it's not like some like it's not just like buy this stock. It's like here's why, here's
Yeah, yeah. The
technical indicators and
thesis.
stuff like that. And,
Yeah.
and now at this point, like the past few weeks, I've made a few plays on my own based on the stuff I've learned there. So I'm starting to get better at being able to read a chart and you're looking for what's called like confluence of factors. Like it may look like the stock is at a good price to buy, but you look for maybe 3 or 4 or 5 other indicators that point to the same thing.
Uh-huh.
And so I made some good plays on my own
Mhm.
now, but mostly I'm relying on other people who are smarter than me and then just
Mhm.
copying them,
Mhm. Okay.
using them to keep myself patient and able
And,
to wait.
and it's interesting, even though like you're listening to what they're saying, and so what they're saying was said and recorded and put out there. So there's like a time delay, and it still works.
Well, yeah, and I mean, there's a Discord community, so people are in there. Like, I could pull it up right now, and people are right now talking about their plays and what's going on, what they're seeing right now. So you can get pretty real fast
Uh,
updates if you want. If you're spending your time, which I spend a lot of time. If he's streaming live, I'm listening to him. I'm checking out the Discord throughout the day on the days that I'm off and doing stock stuff. It's like I'm spending like probably 5 or 6 hours on those days just because I especially if he's streaming live, it's just like I feel like it's like a little bit of like a party atmosphere or something, right? It's like
okay.
so much easier
Interesting.
hanging out with other people, and I can go on Discord at any time and talk to people about plays and get people's insight, and it's just amazing. I mean, it's like crowdsourcing information.
Yeah.
Works really fucking well.
Huh.
um yeah, I'd been thinking this, and then I think it was Vlad Tenev, the Robinhood CEO or founder or whatever the hell he
For
is.
Robinhood?
But I think they're going to AI is going to take everybody's jobs,
Yeah.
and there's going to be a need for people to make money. And I think part of the whole crypto thing and all the different coins and stuff, I think they're going to, the average person, I think the average person becoming an online crypto or stock trader is going to just explode over the next 5 years because
Mhm.
you it's like kind of case in point. It's like I'm trying to start a small business. It may or may not be successful, but I can do this now and make money. And if
Yeah.
you utilize crowdsourcing plus AI, I I I I can make money now,
Yeah.
right? Like typically retail just gets totally fucked, you know,
Mhm.
percent of the time. But at this point with technology, right, I wouldn't be able to do this without the internet. But at
Mhm.
this point, having an online community of people all working together, i.e., a hedge fund, it's a fucking hedge fund, right? That's what it
Yeah.
is. It's just not called that. It's just legally not called that. And then you
Uh-huh.
add that in with some of the AI tools to help you analyze and do the math side, and analyze charts and look for help kind of think out like plays. Like I've used AI a few times to help me think out some call option spreads,
Mhm.
just to make sure I was doing the right math, and if it had any other ideas for me in there and stuff like that. And it's like really useful. It's like chess. It's like the human plus AI is the
Yeah.
combination. It's
Huh.
not one or the other. You know,
Hmm.
you put them together, and then the human can kind of tell the AI what to kind of focus on instead of just focus on everything. Like, just look at this line. Tell me if this line works 30 moves in the future. And
Uh-huh.
yes, it will. And then he was like, aha, I got it, you know.
Huh.
Um, so yeah, I think trading in the future is, I think it'll be the like the biggest. What else are people gonna do? That's what I'm trying to figure out. And I can't, so far my brain hasn't come up with anything else.
Mhm. I'd assume there'd be some sort of manual labor stuff, right? That robots can't quite do for a little while.
Yeah, I
So
mean, until they can, right? You know
until
what
they
I mean?
can.
Like, damn, like, have you seen them 3D printing houses and stuff? It's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
haven't seen that, but I've seen other things made with 3D printing, and it's
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. They can just 3D print a house in a day now on
Wow.
site. Yeah. It's like a
Wow.
tube that pours the concrete, and like in these areas and stuff. It's really cool.
Wow. So then you just get like a piece of land and then 3D print a house
Mhm.
and that, I mean, that must be a lot cheaper than building a house the old-fashioned.
Absolutely. Well, exactly. Absolutely right.
Hmm. Huh. I saw like Tesla has those little Tesla houses now.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Mm-hmm.
like whatever, like 10 grand or something for like some, you know,
All
whatever.
kind of thing.
Yeah, like a studio apartment, kind of thing with, although I'm sure Jack Cruz would probably be like, stay the fuck away from those things. Those things are loaded with all sorts of, EMF or frequencies
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh. Right.
all that shit.
Yeah. Well, if you look at like what there, I think I might have talked about this before, but there's a Japanese guy who is had been homeless, and so he was talking about his experience of being homeless and how he was living. And they have some, as usual, they're way, they're 5, 10, 15 years ahead of us, and they have so many different mega ridiculously affordable like pod systems. They have a lot of different pod systems where you get a room and then access to like self-cleaning bathrooms and blah 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 blah. So they have a way to like actually house people who are homeless in a way that we don't yet, but I think it will become extraordinarily necessary to have unbelievably cheap and available housing, because as people lose their jobs, they're gonna become, that's like, you can look at like van life and car life and stuff like that as just exploding because it's so much cheaper and viable than owning a home or something like that.
Yeah.
Out your van and live in their van and drive around and stuff like that. I think
Hmm.
to have similar to like what Japan is doing, we're gonna have to have these super tiny, super
Like micro
like
homes.
cleanable like places for people to live and stay. Because I think also people will become more mobile. They're gonna, as opposed to just staying in one spot, they're gonna be moving around.
Hmm.
Or
Then
um,
I guess there'll probably be opportunity to, I don't know, provide the various accoutrements to that, right? Like,
exactly. Yeah, that was part of the model. One of the last models he tried out in Japan was one where the it's like unlimited snacks. Like they had unlimited different ramen things and these snacks and all these drinks and stuff.
uh-huh.
And partially it was like a an advertising grab in a way. where
Hmm.
like they're providing the stuff and they're getting a discount, or maybe the company is providing it so that they can like get advertising in this way.
Hmm.
But yeah, building in all of the, like you're saying, the accoutrement, all the food and drink
Probably
stuff like that.
showering and stuff, bathing and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. And of course, it's Japan. It's just like spotless and like, or they're like self-cleaning units. I've seen actually a couple around Ann Arbor. Actually, these big. It's like a big square box, and you scan with your phone. You scan this QR code on the outside, and then it lets you in, and it's this really nice bathroom, and it's like completely self-cleaning. After each person, it just like completely cleans the inside
Hmm.
surface. It's like a completely self-cleaning pod. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Yeah, yeah.
So I think that's the direction we're heading.
Okay. Huh.
Can drop some just pods off somewhere, and it's like a apartment or a bathroom or something, and it's self-cleaning. And
Hmm. How's it self-clean? I'm curious.
like it essentially, it's like washes the entire interior,
Hmm. Okay.
like
Hmm.
disinfects.
Huh. Yeah, yeah, I guess I just like that would make me curious about like, I don't know, some of the unintended consequences of some of that, like constantly disinfecting something.
Mm-hmm.
What are you disinfecting with? Some chemical shit,
Yeah, probably so. Yeah,
right? And it's some probably a bit ham-fisted, right? Because you're not
probably
only
overkill. Yeah, probably
yeah,
overkill.
and then it probably right, and then you go in there and it's and then 10 years later they'll be like, well, like the cancer rates or whatever,
Yeah,
are
yeah.
associated with this chemical, and
Cleaning
then
product was not to be breathed in. It's like, well, what the fuck else was I supposed to do?
yeah, in some like smoky, smoke-filled room, they're like high-fiving each other, be like killing two birds with one stone.
What about you?
That is,
Any news over there, man?
um, no, nothing too major.
Gotcha.
Um, it's chilling. Um, Went on like a nice hike with some friends on Saturday. Um, yeah, it was like some friends I whatever went to like high school with or an elementary school.
Oh,
Um, and yeah, it was a good hike. It was good hanging and talking with them. It's though at some point like we started, they're all three of them are Jewish, and we started talking about the whole Israel thing, and and it's
that was.
funny because I mean they're all like Zionists, and
Oh God.
yeah, and but it was like I was trying to take it upon myself to like I don't know, have like a civil discourse with them about it, not like lose my temper or anything. And I feel like I did that, you know. But it's always, especially on topics like those, it's always like 3-on-1. It's like because they all agree, and I'm the outlier. Um, and it's funny because it's like when I first started looking into all this crazy stuff, uh, like what goes on behind closed doors and history not written by the winners. When I first got into it, I used to love to try to talk to the other side about it, in part because I wanted to hear why they thought the way they thought or saw things the way they saw it. And over time now, it's like I get it now, and I don't really need to talk to them in that same way. I don't really get that same thing out of it that I once got. Like now it's like, yeah, no, I get it. Like this is what the majority of corporate media is saying, and so of course you guys agree with it, and believe it, and like they're one of them was talking about, oh, the Trump peace plan, and we think it's going to work, and and was trying to kind of put it to me like, so if this peace plan works and it stops this, like, right, won't you say that that's a good thing, and whatever that we're saying like that justifies everything, but like, wouldn't that fix most of the problem? And I was like, guys, I'm like, that wouldn't, even if somehow that were to happen and it gets approved and a year or two from now it still holds, that won't just wipe the slate clean of the genocide that they've been committing. It's like, and I was like, the 7.9 whatever billion people on earth who are not Zionists, you know, they know what's happened, and this is how they will always view Israel now, and I don't, just like when most people think about Germany, the Nazis just were in power for fucking 12 years or so, like, but that's all most people outside of Germany remember them for, and I'm like, that's how the rest of the 7.9 billion that aren't Zionists are going to remember Israel for, even if they get away with this, in the long run. Like, that's, but and I mean, I was pleasantly surprised that they weren't getting triggered by my usage of the word genocide, because for a while that's been, contentious thing. Um, and at one point I tried to do like the hypocrisy test with one of them and be like, well, imagine you took the same thing and reversed it, and so you start off with let's start with their narrative, which is this all starts on October 7th, and imagine they killed Jews killed 1,200 Palestinians, and then he was like, but then they did mass rapes and beheadings of babies. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm like, that stuff has been debunked. And he's like, no, it hasn't. And I'm like, yeah, it has. I'm like, that the mass rapes and the beheadings of babies, like, no, 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 that's like, that was just some shit that the corporate media ran with. And that's been debunked. They haven't backed that up with anything. And he's like, you see, we can't even agree on the basic facts.
Mhm.
And in hindsight, I wish I. And then another friend was like, all right, enough. Let's like stop talking about this. And I was like, yeah, I don't need to talk. I didn't bring it up, and I know where they're coming from.
Of course.
Because I once saw it like they did, you know, and that's one of the things I said to them is something I can say that you can't is I once saw things the way you did, and I no longer see it that way, but I get how you see things that way, and because I once saw them that way, but now I can't believe how I fell for it, and but they're still in, I don't know, it's weird, a lot of people just are still into that corporate media thing, like they still take it seriously, and uh think it's credible,
Well, if
and
it makes my side right,
yeah, yeah,
like
but uh
I need to be able to justify murdering and killing people. It's like
yeah,
really important. Like, because I don't want to be seen as a murderer or a killer, but
yeah,
I'm doing that. So I need to find a way to make it okay. I need to find a way to justify it. And so
yeah,
go towards whatever might work. You go towards whatever might work. They're evil. They did it first. It was just self-defense, blah, 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 something like that. But it's
mhm.
trying to justify that stuff is really um difficult. But if you're part of a group that's doing that,
Then
and
it's not so
to lead the
difficult.
group, then you got to try to find a way to justify it. It's okay because X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean, and most of their, and it's weird because they didn't say this, but I've heard this said by other people who I've had this conversation with, is like there's no such thing as indigenous people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like everyone's taking land from everyone else, and it's like, well, to some extent you're right, but another extent, like you're arguing there's no indigenous people, like
And so therefore murder is okay.
yeah,
That's the it's always going to go towards, and so therefore you can, so I can, so it's fine to kill people.
yeah,
It's okay to kill people then. It's
yeah,
because this X, Y, and Z, then it's okay to kill, right?
yeah,
It's like,
right,
oh, shit, it's like, you're in a fucked up position when you're trying to justify like murdering children.
I
You're in
know,
a fucked up position, right? It's like,
yeah,
damn, I'm trying to, or protect a pedophile or something like that.
yeah, yeah.
Shit, like I know he and Epstein. God, that did you see the thing is back? The statue is back and then taken
Oh,
back down again.
oh, I didn't know that they put.
Oh man, I really want one. I really want one so bad. Like that's all I think about every time. I want my own. I'll take a mini version. I'll take like a small desktop version or something. Like, come on, they can make $1 bazillion. Like, oh god, I need one of those motherfuckers. Anyway, it came back up, it came down. But yeah, when you're like, you kind of know, damn it, he's all over that shit. But like, I really wish he wasn't. Like, can I try and obfuscate or argue it away or whatever, right? They try everything. They try and everybody, it's like, oh crap, no, I don't want to admit I was wrong. Like, I don't
Yeah,
that, like, I liked this guy, even though I kind of knew it could be possible that he's doing some fucked up shit, like,
yeah,
no, once you're trying, or like once you're trying to censor comedians, it's like, you're on the wrong side of history. Once you're burning books, you're
yeah.
the wrong side of history. It's just like, fuck,
I know.
damn it.
And now there's like, they're paying like seven grand a post, to influencers and
Well,
stuff.
because if you don't do that, they shoot you in the head.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. First the carrot, then the stick.
Yeah, no, I think it used to be reversed. I think they would use threats and stuff like that to get people in line, but I think they found that money works better than that. That like,
Yeah.
oh, like how? Oh, wait, we don't need to threaten you. We just need to pay you a certain amount of money, and then you'll do whatever we want. It's like, yeah, like, oh, fuck,
Yeah.
okay, this is so much fucking easier. Like, wow,
Hmm.
like, okay,
Yeah. And now they like bought TikTok and they're buying like CBS and they're
well, yeah, you saw it with Bezos. You saw them start
yeah,
snatching up the news,
yeah,
snatch up those news, right? And that's a tale as old as time, right?
yeah,
Who controls the news? Who's the owner of the newspaper? Who's the owner of the
yeah.
social media platform? And because TikTok was wild. TikTok was like the Wild West,
Hmm.
and that's it's a way that China just keeps putting up a middle finger to Western culture. Is they're like, oh, social media, okay, here's like a more addictive and in some ways more free when it first was out, a
Uh-huh.
more free, just like post whatever the fuck you want. It's too hyper and too much stuff to ever possibly censor it.
Hmm.
And therein was its power, right? Whether I'm not saying TikTok is good or bad, I'm saying as a social
Hmm.
media platform,
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
motherfucker rocketed in popularity. That
Uh-huh.
that fed us exactly what we want out of a social media platform or humans.
Hmm.
Same thing with DeepSeek. They're like, oh, you're into AI. Okay, here's one where you don't have to connect to the server. Here, you can just download this one on your computer and run it yourself. It was such a huge, big, fat middle finger to all of the AI craze here in the West.
Hmm.
They're just so fucking good at that. It's unbelievable. If all the drone stuff like ends up being China, I will not be fucking surprised at all. That's just such a big middle finger. Yeah, we created these awesome fucking drones. We sent them all over, scanned all of your shit, and you couldn't do fucking shit about it. I will not be surprised at all in any way, shape, or form. That is such their style to just be like, fuck the West, you know, fuck all this shit. You know, I totally get it. That was such a theme in the Three Body Problem because the woman was the Chinese scientist, and she was like, yeah, because the aliens are like, do not respond, like, do
Yeah.
not respond to this message, because if you do, we will come there and we will take over your shit. And she's like, yeah, we suck, like, come, like, fuck us, you know, like, it's like, fuck capitalism and everything. And even at that point, they're disillusioned with even their own government, right? It's like their like own dad like get gunned down by the revolution and shit. So it's like, yeah, not the West sucks and so do we. Like, fuck this, you know. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, kind of like the Samson option, you know, it's kind of like if we don't get what we want, like we will just destroy everything.
Yeah.
And if the world doesn't fall in line with what we want, it's like we will take it down with us. And
it's probably like what God wants anyway. Like if that happens, that's probably like what God wanted, you know, Israel to do, you know, like we're fulfilling our covenant, you know,
right,
God's chosen people. And so if we destroy the earth, then I guess it needed destroying, you know, like, you know, like, let's get the Messiah back. Like, come on. Like, I guess that's what's needed for the Messiah or something.
I was getting the Messiah
to come back, because it wasn't Jesus, you know. Fuck that. That's just a rumor you heard. Fuck that guy. We need the real one. We need the real one. It wasn't him. Although there are some Jews that believe, there are some Jews that believe that Jesus was the Messiah. I've seen plenty. There's plenty of YouTube,
like Jews for Jesus kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Because you can do a little dance and claim, you can do a little dance and claim that one of the prophecies in the Old Testament is referring to Jesus. So for some people that is like good enough to be like, oh, this was like foretold in the Torah, like, oh shit, okay, it is him, you know. Okay.
Have you heard about like the Schofield Bible?
Yeah, what I recognize that term. It's but what is it? It's not coming to my mind. What is it?
The story I know about it is basically this Bible that I think supposedly was paid for by like the Rothschilds, that would become the common usage Bible from then on, and it would basically, I think was like manufacturing consent for Zionism. And
I'm gonna put that into Google so I can check it out.
Yeah,
I do recognize that term, but yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm pretty sure that the Schofield Bible is this thing that was it was there to replace the pre-existing Bible, and would be used, you know, to be like, oh no, like here it says in the Bible that whatever, this prophecy and stuff like that, you know, to support Zionism.
Okay.
And you know, and that was something when I used to hang out with that guy a lot, you know, an older guy who was, you know, big into Jesus and Christianity. He would, I would say to him, you know, I'm like, look, that's cool that you're into this, but like, I don't know, it seems to me like it's just been so manipulated over the centuries, you know, this story, and like, and we don't even know for certain that Jesus existed, you know, all these things that it's so uncertain, and it was clearly been used for various questionable reasons, you know, these narratives to like influence and control people. I'm like, and that, all that being said, you know, doesn't mean that there aren't valuable lessons in the Bible and things to hear about in stories, but I just think all you need to do is change if it's like a piece of legislation, like a bill could be hundreds of pages long, and then some big corporation will just like change one sentence
Yeah.
or put one sentence in there, and then that one sentence is just now just like that's all they needed.
Right. The loophole. Create
Yeah,
like
the
a loophole
loophole,
or find a
exactly.
loophole. Right.
And so I can see how like the Bible, and not even just like Christianity, just like all the religions, they could be easily corrupted in that way. And one of those things that at least about the Torah was it was like in one language the whole time, and it's this really big deal and sacred thing, whereas Bibles, they just mass produce that shit. um but I mean, I do think it's like a fascinating thing to try to think about preserving a story for thousands of years. Like, I don't know, shit happens, like floods happen, earthquakes happen, wars happen. Uh, I don't know. It's just kind of amazing to think that you can preserve something for thousands of years,
Yes.
you know? And that would make sense that, like, something, I don't know, like the pyramids are a form of preservation meant to last for a long fucking time, you know? For a bunch of different purposes or reasons, but here's something that will maintain more or less
Yeah.
its integrity. Um,
I'm looking up some Torah stuff.
what's up?
Just looking up some Torah stuff
What are you looking up?
because I was trying to remember. Okay, that's the Hebrew. Okay. 1009. I was just seeing what are the oldest copies that we have? Scrolls, 3rd or 4th CE, BCE. Okay, interesting.
What are they saying?
Um, because then what is that? Is that looks like it's Greek, maybe? And then the Dead Sea Scrolls. And the scroll amulets. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
some of those are just
scrolls.
like
Like
some
how
of
the
them are
fuck
just
do
fragments.
scroll? How do scrolls survive for thousands of years? Like, I,
Well,
I
Dead
don't know.
Sea Scrolls, right? They sealed them in jars. They sealed them in jars, and then buried those jars in like caves and shit like that. But yeah, like we don't have many, right? No, it's
Yeah,
that's why like the Sumerian shit, like the
tablets,
yeah,
cuneiform.
they saved so much better because it wasn't paper based.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like things saved on paper. It's like, wait, you're telling me over thousands of years, like it's still there and it's still intact and legible? Like, I don't know. Seems interesting to me, or like, gee, that's impressive that they can do that,
Yeah.
and I don't know, like, no, it never caught fire, it never got
Mhm.
flooded and ink washed away or whatever, I don't know. It's interesting.
Well, and yeah, a lot of them are just like little fragments. A lot of it has been like destroyed, and you just get these slivers, and you're like, oh shit,
Right?
that's from the Book of Numbers or some shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas like the Vatican, I could understand, like, no, that's a place where you're gonna like store and house all this shit, preserve it
hmm
and have your own records and your own version of everything.
Right.
But it's almost like a bank, you know, to preserve all this historical documents or whatever, but you get to preserve it and catalog it and share it or not share it,
Not share it, right? Or not.
Yeah, or not. Like makes me think of like, say, like this, some of the Charlie Kirk stuff, like the stuff that Candace Owens been saying recently,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden it's like, they're claiming X, Y, and Z didn't happen. And then she's like, no, I've got the receipts, motherfucker.
Thank
And
God.
yeah, and she's like, look at these emails, but at some point, it's like, I don't know, it's like kind of like amazing that they haven't, like, I don't know, raided her house and just thrown her in jail, like, and I guess you could say she's high profile enough that it would cause a backlash and not look good or something, or I don't
Or
know.
yeah, or it's controlled opposition, right?
Or
Is
it's controlled
that you that you
opposition.
that it's like, okay, that you want there to be, you want people arguing.
Yeah.
You do want people arguing, that takes up their attention and their time, you know.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
arguing as a good thing. We want to, like Foucault says, um power power really seeks to control your body. It doesn't matter what you think about or what you say or what you argue. It just wants to control your body, like where you're allowed to be, where you're not. It's power seeks to control the body. It doesn't matter. It can encourage us to argue and fight amongst ourselves, because then we get distracted from any other thing besides that.
Hmm.
It becomes the theater or the TV show that we're all watching. So it's like
Yeah.
controllable. You're like, yes, get them all arguing. Yes, get them all talking about how they're going to kill each other. Like, awesome. They won't ever look behind the curtain, go behind the veil, right? They won't ever think to even go over there. They're busy fighting and arguing their sides, and both have some really good points, right? On both,
Hmm.
it's not clear that just one side is bad or evil or wrong, even though each side will say that about the other side. There still ends up being good enough points to keep people on that team, you know.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And I started watching, I had to like stop watching because I was getting like annoyed, like a Brett Weinstein video
Mm-hmm.
where he was being interviewed by someone, and talking, they were start talking about Israel, and they brought up Candace Owens, and they were basically like, and this is the thing, it's like he Brett is such a smart guy, and then I forgot, it was either him or the interviewer, but he didn't. If it wasn't him who said it, he didn't push back. That it was like, well, Candace Owens is just, she's gone off the deep end, and she just like, they were like, instead of saying like she's digging into Israel's dirty deeds, it's just like she just thinks that Jews, they just say that, and it's like,
Over. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like, why is he going along with that? Why isn't he? I don't know. It bothers me. You
Well, it's
know?
such an obvious fallacy. And so you'd expect that
Yeah,
somebody who has any level of intelligence is going to go, look, you know, I disagree with a lot of the things she's saying, but here's a couple of things that I agree with, or something like
yeah,
that, where it's an actual educated take on it.
yeah,
No, you can just tell when people, that you hit somebody's confirmation bias, and it's just like, nah, it doesn't matter what you present at that point anymore. It won't matter. Like they've already decided, it's pre-decided. They're not open to new information, nor do they want to be open to new information.
yeah, 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 yeah. And I've noticed how many people, there's like a lot of people that were like COVID dissidents. And I think I brought this up about Brett Weinstein before, that were COVID dissidents that are like that are big Zionists. And like, to me, I think like there's certain issues, there's like a red pill side and a blue pill side, and maybe there's some purple middle ground, but like, I don't know. I do feel like I get the feeling like, not that it's so wittingly, but I feel like, we're talking about last time about ideology and how that's now they're a true believer in this thing they don't fully understand, and now they will go and do your dirty work for you without even you paying them, like because they just believe it,
Mhm.
you know, and like for someone like myself, you know, I am concerned that this is going to be used, like what Israel's doing is going to be held against just Jews in general.
Mhm.
And I feel like Israel does everything it can to conflate Zionism and Judaism. And I have a real problem with that because it's like, you know, it's like, guys, the whole world, the rest of the world that isn't Zionist, like I was saying to my friends, and tried to say to other people,
Yeah.
the world that isn't Zionist, they see what Israel's doing. So the more Israel conflates Zionism and Judaism, then the more the world will believe that.
Mhm.
And then the world will say it's not just Israel, it's just the Jews. And that's, I don't know, that's something I have a problem with,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And that's where I find myself being like the devil's advocate, you know, and being like, yeah, like none of these people want me to be their advocate
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
they think I'm crazy or I've bought into anti-Semitic propaganda,
Yeah.
you know. But I'm like, guys, like you're not seeing it. Like the stance I'm taking in part is not only, but is also just in defense of Jews.
Mhm.
Like this is not being done by the Jews. You know, this isn't like because I don't know. I am concerned that they're setting this up like to just do that whole Holocaust thing again or something like that. And and all these Jews that I'm friends with that are Zionists, like they don't see it and they don't get it.
Mhm.
And I'm like, guys, like we need to, I don't know, differentiate between the two. And if we don't, like the world isn't going to see the difference between the two, you know, and then they're going to think that this genocide being carried is just being carried out by the Jews, you know? And no doubt to me, in my mind at least, that like the people that we okay, that we have to like the people that we call the Jews are really like the Zionists,
Mhm.
you know, and I don't know, you know, it's just it's upsetting to me, you know, and also because like, but on the other hand, on a positive, to bring up a rare good thing, Steph's friend came in from out of town who I don't know, whatever. She's someone that it's been tough to talk about some of these things with.
Yeah.
But I was like talking to her about some of the stuff, and she was like saying she doesn't want to send her daughter to college
Mhm.
because if she sends her daughter to college, in college they're teaching anti-Semitism. College,
Mhm.
and I was like, no, no, no.
Anti-Semitism 101. Welcome,
Yeah.
class. Repeat
Like
after me.
I know,
Jews run the world.
I know, right? And I was like, they're not teaching anti-Semitism. If anything, like they're maybe you could say that they're teaching anti-Zionism, you know? And she's like, okay, you're right, you're right. You know, at least she was able to, and I was just like very pleasantly surprised that she was able to hear that nuance and not like become reactionary against it, but be like, no, you're right, you
Yeah.
know, and I don't know. I came away very impressed with her. I probably agree with her about very little, but we had like a totally civil conversation about it. I don't know. It was nice. I was like, all right, it's nice to know that that's still possible.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, 'cause it's rare. Yeah, and it's hard to flip the hypocrisy test for them. They're like, and like the mass rapings and the beheaded babies thing, it's just, it's like, look, it was enough people were killed that day. You don't have to like fabricate all this nonsense,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Like I've seen like Gabor Mate, you know, uh, giving a lecture, and then Zionists in the audience will be like, "Well, what about the mass rapings and the beheaded babies?" He's like, "No, no, no, that's been debunked. That's nonsense." You know, and I mean, I watched like the New York Times, who helped promote that. I watched, an interview with the author of it. I think his name was like Gettleman or something, and basically asked for proof or evidence. And he was basically like, "What do you mean proof or evidence?" Something like some answer like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You just got to say this shit in the proper
Yes,
source, and then they believe it. And
of
then they
course.
don't need the proof. Like in 9/11, they don't even need the proof or anything. They just, hey, they all said it, or like the vaccines are safe and effective. I don't need proof. You said it a million times. Repeat the lie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then once AI starts to manage all of the social media, like in UK, they're like arresting people for posting things, or even reposting things on social media, or even just liking something that you're not supposed to like. Like they're arresting people. Like that's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Because like that's coming here at some
Of
point.
course, God.
I'm surprised it's not here already, honestly. I mean, it was basically here during COVID.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. I don't know if the threat of it is even more. Typically, the threat is more powerful than the execution.
Yeah.
You just want people kind of scared and worried that they're being watched. Again, it's Foucault. It's the idea of the panopticon, that if
Yep.
you just make people feel like they're being watched, then they modify their behavior, even if there's no one actually watching. But you need a big tower there where
You have the high tower.
you can't see if they are watching or not. So they could be,
Right?
but
Yeah,
they don't
yeah.
have to be. And we take
Yeah.
over policing ourselves at that point. You make people start policing each other. You go,
Hmm.
oh, the person in the jail is like, "Don't do that. The guards will see you." And they
Yeah.
not be guards, but it's like we
Yeah.
need to start policing each other now.
Yeah, exactly. Like that movie The Village,
Mm-hmm.
where they're all just in that
Absolutely.
little village, and they can't leave or go out at night or whatever, because those monsters will come, and then they start believing in these monsters. And yeah. Yeah, it's interesting that like in the 20 years that we've known each other, how far this has come,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Um and you see like these robots now that are coming out more and more. These robots that can do like martial arts, and you know travel over weird, you know terrains, and it's like shit. Like this
Mm-hmm.
stuff is almost like they got the drones for the skies, and pretty soon they're gonna have the robots on the ground that are capable of, and then, you don't have to pay a pension,
Mm-hmm.
it's you don't have to worry about like in the Russian Revolution when the soldiers refused to fire on their own
Right. No, no.
citizens, you know like it's just like I don't know, it's like it's upsetting in a way, like damn how it's just marching there, and here's Trump, who's supposed to be like the defender of us from it, and it's just using the perception that he's supposed to protect us from this, the deep state or whatever, and
Oh,
like
right.
and but he's just like and like can
He's
see.
just selling crypto coins, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. Like that's your payoff, dude. You get to fucking make billions of dollars in the process. you know?
Off of his fans who believed in him and bought it, and then they get rug pulled. I mean, it's just so it's the poetic
Justice, yeah.
Shakespeare is like got nothing on this. This is
Yeah, yeah.
it's not even like I like robbed the Chinese and like got like no, I robbed my fans.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's, that was something when I was having that breakdown at the beginning of COVID, and I was like having these like debates with myself and pleading with whatever God or the great consciousness or whatever, being like, no, like, don't kill us all. Like, let us, like, we're not so bad. We can. And I was going through that, and one of the things that like came into my head was like, real power is goes to those who are willing to sacrifice their own.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's what real power wants. Yeah, anyone can go and sacrifice our enemies, go and sacrifice the people we don't like, but it's like to do it to your own people, uh like when Israel, that's why it was weird for me when Israel like rolled out the vaccines like pretty much first.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wait, this doesn't make sense. Why would they be doing like, and I went through this change, this shift where I was like, oh, because they don't, I before that I had assumed that the Zionist leaders cared more about the Israelis than non-Israelis. But then to find out, like, no, they don't.
They just want to win.
Yeah, they just want to win, and they're willing to sacrifice their own,
Yeah.
and like it was almost like, oh, the world won't take these vaccines. We did the crunch the numbers, and the world will take these vaccines at whatever 20% or 30% less because they'll think it's some sort of evil Jewish plot,
Mm-hmm.
But if Israel does it first, then they'll be like, oh, okay, well, if they did to their own,
It's
then
not. Yeah.
they're fine. Yeah, some shit like that, like Trump. If Trump says it, then it'll be more likely his supporters will go along with it. You
Absolutely.
know, and it's like, all right, so now that they're like rating, I don't know, and I see like the good cop, bad cop, and then it switches, and then who you thought was the good cop and bad cop, it switches, and you just gotta, you just got okay. Now the Yankees, they used to wear pinstripes. Now they've got, Red Sox uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
And the Red Sox have Yankees uniforms, and it's getting really confusing for most people. You know, it's like what was once a liberal now is a conservative. And what was once a conservative is now a liberal. And it's like it's confusing, and it's like, but you know if you're not walking in lockstep with whatever sign group you claim to be with, then you're going to be called a traitor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, you know, how do you gather and herd masses of people? You know,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Well, you want to call it here, bro?
Okay,
Awesome talking with you.
great talking to you, Dogon.
Next time. Hope everything goes well.
Definitely, man.
Okay.
All right,
Bye.
later, Dogon.
Hey, man.